We aim to cover all of the tech news. Sometimes the most important stuff slips through the cracks. So we welcome Kerry Davis, host of the Engadget show, in case you missed it. Welcome back, Kerry.
Hey, Megan.
So first, tell us about MyVR. It's a new Sims-like social network that you can access with Google Cardboard.
Yeah, I had some feels about this one. So because it is very much Sims-like. And so I had a friend that was kind of obsessed with this back in the day in undergrad. And that's what this is. This is the new frontier in social networks. It's VR. So basically you build this room and sort of set it up where like the TV is really like watching Hulu or Netflix, whatever you like to do. And the computer desk might have like Instagram or whatever. And so it makes all these little regions out of a room. And then you invite friends over. And for now, it's only in Google Cardboard. It will be available soon enough in Gear VR. I kind of get it. I get that this is a trend, but can I be real with you? I'm just worried that people will use it to watch porn.
When you say invite friends over, how do you mean?
You know, it's just been released, and I don't have Google Cardboard, so I've not been able to try it out myself. But basically, it's a social network. So like anything else, it's kind of app and computer based. You can, find other people who are interested in what you're interested in.
Oh, my goodness. I did not see that curveball coming.
I'm sorry. That's all I could think while I was writing it. I'm like, oh, no.
So does one person put up the video or the content and then everybody else watches that? If so, I could see that having like copyright issues.
Good point. My thinking on it is that if you have a login to Hulu and Netflix, whatever, you can kind of share it and you watch it in this tiny little TV within your room. Those people I like. Right now you're playing the video and it's these three people standing there talking like you would virtually. And then the girl goes, oh, wait, this is my favorite song. And they all laugh. And I'm like, oh, my God. Do we need VR rooms for that?
So I can't remember when it was. It was probably like 5 or 6 months ago. There was a new app that launched, very similar in some ways to what you're talking about, called V-Time. Oh, yeah. Where it was a virtual reality thing, app where you had all of these different scenarios. Were you on a plane? Were you sitting on a rock overlooking like a sunset or whatever? And you and 3 other people who are connected to the room at the same time sit in like a circle and you chat with each other, right? And it's your digital, it's your virtual avatar, but it's your audio coming from. Yeah, this is it. This is connecting anyways. And it was very strange. Like it felt, in some ways it felt like the future, and in some ways it freaked me out.
It's a sharing circle. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And, it detected when you're talking, and so your avatar mouth would move. It would kind of move its hands around like in normal. So this seems like maybe the next iteration of this sort of thing. I don't know. I don't know whether to love it or hate it.
I know. I feel confused too. And for people who love VR, they're probably definitely excited about this. For me, it all feels a bit early, but same deal with this my web room iteration is that you can share audio. So you can talk about things as you watch or listen or view. And I can see that being interesting to people, just maybe not me just yet.
Yeah.
So I feel like here we do a pretty good job of covering the whole creepy robot landscape, but we totally missed this. The big eye. The big eye.
We were terrified. Yeah, it looks like, I feel like I'm hating on everything, but so be it. It looks like a giant sort of just garbage bin sort of on wheels rolling around. And the worst part is the huge eye. So it's obviously a prototype, right? So when you watch the video and the eye opens, it's like the eye of Sauron meets something very surreal, right? I'm glad you had that reaction. But anyways, it is. So there are a couple already sort of in-home robots out on the market. There's Pepper, there's Buddy. I kind of find them all adorable. I actually really like robots. This one, I think I just don't like the eye, but it has 3D vision, motion capture, facial recognition. So what the idea of the Kickstarter video is, they say like, hey, go see if Joey's still sleeping and wake him, play some music if he's not awake. And then it rolls in, it sees, it just looks so creepy. It sees the kid is still sleeping. It plays music, and you can sort of interact with it like that. Right now, it's still on Kickstarter. It's, I think, $750 to get on board. It's, it's going to be first generation, all these things. But the thing that I'm more interested in is this is like the 3rd, maybe the 4th home robot we've covered in the last year or so. So they're clearly here to stay.
It's a category. That's when things get scary, is when it's a category. It's a whole section of a catalog. I really like the scene where it says, if you see me in the living room after noon, please remind me that it's time to work out. Meanwhile, she's on the couch with a laptop on her lap. It's like, that really could have been so much more effective if it was like a screen notification, on-screen notification, instead of the robot having to come in and remind.
That's an Apple Watch or whatever situation, right?
Yes.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
So on the Kickstarter page, it has the boy like drawing all over it. Is it like you can customize it? Like he made it into like an R2-D2 or something?
Yeah, I saw that too. I think they just put paper over it and they're like, look, it's so friendly. Your child can draw on it. Like, it isn't terrifying that it's a giant, scary eye.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's all.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So, okay. So
We'll see if it happens.
it's a garbage can looking robot with a giant eye, but at least it doesn't sweat.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Some robots do.
Robots don't sweat. Wait, what?
This is actually the future. Exactly. So, of course, from Japan, some researchers have built this robot that has 180 motors, and it's actually really glorious. It is very much in a human shape. In any case, they 3D printed the bones, and they realized that to help it cool itself down, because it has all those tiny little micromotors, the bones have tiny pores in them, and this thing can sweat all on its own, just sweating. And it can do, they brag, 11 minutes of push-ups without a break, which is rude because I can't probably do a minute worth. I'm just going to out myself. So anyways, the robots are amazing. And so is Japan, of course.
So the sweating helps it do more push-ups?
Yeah, but so normally all those tiny little, help me, motors they overheat. They overheat so quickly. And so if it can sort of cool itself without having a cooling system on board, then it can do even more. So this thing is basically, I think it uses like a cup of desalinated water in the whole system. And then the tiny little pores just let out the water and it cools itself. It evaporates. Hey, presto, they will kill us all.
So do you have to like fill it up with water from time to time? Like, here's your water injection, robot.
And it's like, thank you, human. I won't kill you today. I have a fascination with these, especially this robot is pretty intense looking.
Yeah.
I wish it would sweat if it was nervous. So like we could know if it was about to kill us, right? Because that's what you do. Like if you're going to take over, you'd be a little nervous. And
not if you're a robot.
Yeah, it's true.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tuesday, tomorrow, if you're watching this on Monday, is Election Day. The New York Times, which I also learned from you, is outside of its paywall during the election couple of days, so you can read whatever you want from them for free. They also have a game modeled after the Oregon Trail called the Voter Suppression Trail. Tell us about that.
Okay, first of all, I am still obsessed with the Oregon Trail, and I have no shame. You guys,
it's a great game.
No shame.
Right. Oh, good.
Yeah,
so
good.
My theory, by the way, on winning Oregon Trail is just name everyone in your wagon party after exes, and then you don't care if they die. You're like, whatever, Patrick, you always sucked. Die. If you still make it, it's fine. Anyway, so they came out with this thing, the Voter Suppression Trail. You could click to play. It's a little sad, but you have three options. You can either be a black man in Michigan, a Latina woman, I think, in Texas, and a white guy, a white programmer in California. And then you have to test to see how long it takes to actually vote. And so I played as everyone. The Latina nurse, my kids were calling, they were sick. The nurse thinks I'm like, nope. You just keep like, I'm staying in line. And you sort of on average, basically they took all this data, averaged it and how long it takes to wait in each place and the problems that they face, like the poll workers don't know how to use it, yada, yada. So it's really eye-opening. And of course, the programmer here holding his freaking latte, he has no problem at all voting. He's out in a minute.
I'll just go in there and do my vote. What's so difficult about this?
Why is everyone complaining?
So what you're saying, Kerry, is that no matter how many times Google tells me to vote, if my kids call me and tell me they're sick on the way to me voting, it's not the Google telling me to vote is not going to help me at all.
Apparently not. Although I kept saying like, ignore, whatever. And then as the guy from Michigan, it was your boss called and said you're going to be docked pay and your coworker is sick. He has dysentery. Will you go in? And I said no. And then the pop-up said your coworker is now mad at you. It's funny to play. You should play it.
I know everybody has dysentery in this. My kid, when he called from the nurse's office, had dysentery. That was how I had to go, pull him from school. So
yeah, and so you make the choice. Do you want to vote more or go be a parent? You decide.
Right. Mm.
Yeah. So we should all vote tomorrow. I think that's the moral of the story.
Yes, no matter what. Mm-hmm. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us and finding all these stories. If people want to watch you, I listen to you on my Amazon Echo, so I should tell people that they can do that. I don't know if you know people do that. I mean, you're better.
I don't know that. Thank you.
You're better watched than listened, but if people only can listen, you're part of the Amazon Echo Flash briefing. But how can people watch you?
Yes, thank you for filling me in. I had no idea. You can go to Engadget.com nearly every day. The daily show that I host, in case you missed it, is at the top. Otherwise, Engadget video, you'll find it. YouTube, you'll find it. Sometimes if my husband misses a bunch, he goes to YouTube and kind of watches a few. So it's an easy way to catch up. But yeah, please watch. And we have a new show coming soon. I'll be in touch about that.
Oh,
excellent. Let us know.
I will.
Thanks, Carrie.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Carrie. Have a great night.